Hi, it's Bree with Coffee Run Repeat, and we are working towards eventually having higher quality videos for you. I've got a new camera. I do have a light kit. I don't know where all the parts are for that light kit, so right now we're just we're getting there. Eventually I will make better videos. I promise. Eventually. Yeah. So today I'm here to kind of give you a follow-up on the Coros Pace. I noticed a lot of people are commenting on this video, and I did it a couple months ago, and since there have been several updates since then, I kind of wanted to circle back and kind of let you guys get a revised review. So what I'll do is I will link to the original one, and I'll go over a lot of the stuff that was relevant there, let it stand there, but this is going to be like kind of the newer things and things that I've noticed since that review. I took it for my first post-baby marathon beginning of October and had some really interesting experiences with that. So I wanted to kind of just give you guys the most latest and greatest update on that and kind of tell you why I think I'm going back to Garmin, guys. All right, so here's how the last update went through. I think 2 updates ago. They've added more intervals, so you can do run walk intervals. Not run walk. I don't want to call them run walk. It's not run walk. It's an interval training. So after you hit your set amount of intervals, it stops. You can build it in with a warm up and a cool down, but if you're in a race day situation, it's not going to work like a run walk interval would be. I think it maxes it up off at 60. So that may not seem like that short of a time. We just dropped a reindeer. Hold on. Reindeer down. That might not seem like a very short time, but if you're not a super fast marathoner, for me, I was training for just getting out there. I knew I was going to lose some time because I needed to stop halfway through and either pump or nurse. So I made the mistake of trying to bank time. So my first half was pretty good. My second half, the wheels completely fell off, and I knew after like 5 miles that I needed to slow down. So I thought, oh wow, I really wish I could put intervals on here. And you just don't have that option. You can't just add run walk intervals in the middle of a workout. So what I had to do was I grabbed my phone, put a Tabata timer on it, and that worked until I took my phone off of airplane mode because my husband needed to get in contact with me because we were meeting up so I could pump, which didn't work, by the way. I had to end up feeding him, which ended up taking a little more time than I'd like, but I was not there at a PR. Back to the intervals, with the Tabata intervals, every time anyone messaged me or messaged any other Facebook Messenger or any of the other messengers, it stopped the timer. So I ended up with these really stretched out or non-existent intervals, and it just didn't work. Way to work around that would be to carry a Gym Boss, but I honestly, that Gym Boss is just not. I would much rather just have a vibration on my wrist and not have to think about it. And that was one of the things that Garmin had on even like my old 220. You could set run walk intervals and it would just keep going. You could turn it off in the middle of it, if you could just pause it and take it off, and it wasn't a big deal. But I'm finding that run walk interval is kind of important, not so much for trail, but for road. I mean, I don't do a lot of road, but I do hope to get into Getty 100 again, hopefully. I had to drop out last year because of reasons. But with a flat towpath kind of situation, I would need to be able to do run walk intervals because I need to keep me honest. He's eating my arm. All right, so next up, they have added track workouts. I don't run track. I did track in high school. That was enough. So that doesn't really, I haven't been able to play with that one too much because I don't want to. Sorry guys, I don't want to run around in circles. But there have been a couple instances where I thought it was user error on my end, and I was thinking that I did something wrong, and then I saw that other people, there's a couple of user groups for Coros on Facebook, and a couple people brought up the similar situations on a couple of these, and I realized, well, shoot, like maybe it's not me. And one of those happened after the last update. So when I was running on trail, I noticed that my miles were coming in off. So the mile would go ding, my wrist would vibrate, I looked down, it would be like, you know, less than a tenth of a mile off, but I hadn't hit that mile yet. And it kept getting bigger and bigger towards the end. So at like mile 10, it was ending like, 0.05. And I just kind of figured I hit the split button. It's gotta be, I hit the split button. I've done it before. Part of the problem with this not being able to turn off the heart rate monitoring is that you have to keep it close to your skin. And when I'm running trail in the woods in the winter, I prefer to wear ow, that's Mama's hair. Can I have that back, please? Thank you. I would prefer to wear it over my shirt so I can just kind of look down. As it is, I have to take off my gloves. I usually have the thumb hole shirts on. I have to peel off the thumb holes. And it was very possible that I had just hit the button and didn't realize it. Well, my last workout on, Friday. Trail Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. I call it Black Toenail Friday. I was out playing in the woods and I noticed that the same thing was happening. It beeped. I looked down and I still had like 0.05 left to go. So then even in my data, it says like 11.04. So they're not matching up. The other problem I'm having is I'll start a workout sometimes and it'll just not go. Usually you hit start, it says please wait while we're getting your heart rate, and then I wait for it to beep and then I hit start. Well, I will come back from going for a walk with this one and notice that it just didn't do anything. It just sort of sat there. And then when I hit end, that was it. It didn't capture anything. So that's kind of making me a little bit nervous. I've got some races coming up in the spring, and I really don't want to lose my data in the woods. The other problem I had was I went under an underpass at my marathon, and after that, I lost all elevation data. I contacted Coros, and they are very open to checking data logs and things like that for you. But they said, we think it's just a fluke. I haven't been able to replicate this because I don't run under a lot of underpasses, but I've never had that happen before. Right, Bubba? Right? Yeah? The other thing I'm having a bit of an issue with is the heart rate monitoring. Yes, I know, Sweet Pea. So it's one of those things you can't turn off. It gives you your fitness index, and it kind of calculates it on your VO2 max, which... okay, your threshold pace, your lactic threshold, and your resting heart rate. Well, I've had some instances where I've started a workout and it's registering my heart rate at 40. Sorry, I don't know if they heard that over that. 40. I know athletes have a lower resting heart rate. Typically, mine's like 57, according to the watch. 40, I don't see it being 40. I don't really sit around that much except when I'm nursing him. For the most part, I'm chasing after him, so I'm not really resting all that much. I know, there's no resting, right? None, no resting. So that was, I checked the placement. It was on my wrist. It wasn't too tight. There was nothing on it. But I've also noticed that sometimes it spikes when I'm warming up, and it spikes like really high, like, wow, should I be concerned? But then it goes back down to normal. And I've seen that a couple of people have similar experiences with that. The other thing I have a problem with is with not being able to turn off this data. It drives me nuts because when I'm getting all this like fitness information, like the training load, it told me I was optimized on my marathon. Like my marathon was an optimized workout, which was completely different than what it said when I was running, when it has your little there's a little like setting where you can see how much endurance you have left, and I was like 2%. Like I was out, and I did not run that race smart. It was not great, and for it to be optimized, like okay, so for me to be optimized, like I have to run a marathon every day. That's interesting. The other thing is that when I'm running trail, it's not necessarily fast, right? No, it's not fast. Sometimes there's leaf fall. We have really rocky trails sections of the AT here. So when there's leaf fall, it's slow because basically the leaves, it's kind of like maybe it's trail, maybe it's a rock. It's a mystery. So it ends up being a little bit slower. So then after I do trail, it'll come back with, oh, your threshold is much, much slower. So then the next time I run, I get kind of penalized for running faster than my threshold. When my threshold isn't really a 10-minute or 11-minute or whatever that it's giving me, that's because I'm in the woods and I'm shuffling up a mountain. So I kind of wish that was something I was able to turn off, maybe. I don't know. So I think I'm probably going to be going back to my Fenix 3. The problem I'm having with that is that you cannot export your data in bulk from Coros. So you can do every single individually, export it out, and then import it. But you cannot do it as a bulk. So I will have to either lose all my data going to Garmin. I don't have Strava data for the entire time I've been running. I have a reason in my blog. Anyway, so that's just a couple of things, updates with Coros, and I just wanted to let you know. So that's Brew with Coffee on Repeat.